My set point is 0.9. That's 0. Yes. Okay, I see now what's going on. Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Oh, you should go. Yes. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Found the problem. Found the problem. Set 0. Yes. So, okay. So again, fault finding. I configured the controller wrong. That's why it's very important to read carefully the manual so you can understand. Obviously, not me, because I tend to ignore stuff like that. But it's okay. We're here, and I'm here to learn. So in the manual, it says the following. If one compressor cannot maintain the temperature within the differential, the second compressor will also be started. So, what does it mean? My set point earlier was 0.9. So, to simplify this, let's make it 1 degree. Okay? We're going to reset this. So, bear in mind, my differential is 2 degrees. So, set point 1, differential 2. That means when my system reaches 1 degree, everything stops. Obviously, the fan is still running. Temperature rises to 3 degrees because differential is 2. Then the control will bring compressor number 2. If somehow, after the first compressor cuts in, and within that time delay of half a minute to a minute, just one compressor, compressor number 1, manages to keep the temperature at 3 degrees, so that is within the differential, the controller with this type will not bring my second compressor. However, if within that time delay, the temperature keeps rising because compressor number 1 can't bring that temperature below 3, and let's just say it rises and it goes to about 3.5, then the controller brings compressor number 2. But if one compressor manages to keep the temperature at 3 degrees, so within that differential, then it won't bring compressor number 2. So let's just repeat the test so we can make sure that what I just explained is right, because I can be wrong. So my temperature is 2.3. Yep. My set point is 1 degree. Differential 3. So let's say for some reason you'll bring in the first compressor now, which is compressor number 2. It will want to rotate, so it will make sure, the controller wants to make sure that it runs both compressors the same amount of hours. Because what you don't want to do is run one compressor for, let's just give a random example, 100 hours, and compressor number 2, you're going to run it for 1 hour. You want to make sure that you maintain the same amount of running hours. So yeah, so it brought compressor number 2, but because my temperature is 2.3 within the differential, it doesn't want to bring compressor number 1. So now let's just try by adjusting the potentiometers to increase the temperature above 3 degrees, as the manual says, above the differential. So let's see if I can adjust the air off probe. So you are going, okay, so yeah, it brought compressor number 2. That's 4 degrees. So yeah. So what have I done so far? I adjusted the wiring. So my time delay for bringing compressor number 2 is being controlled by the controller itself. Because as I said earlier, the way I wired it was to run through the contactor on compressor number 1. And also we managed to make an understanding the logic of the controller in the way that it tries to run the compressors. Now, from my personal experience, I've never came across this setup, but it's good to learn something new, because what it usually happens, what I've seen anyway on several customers, controller will bring compressor number 1 and that automatically will go through a timer relay, or controllers similar to this one, all you have to do is time delay in bringing compressor number 2, and you say 30 seconds, for example. It will be a countdown. When 30 seconds are lapsed, it will energize compressor number 2. It doesn't care about the temperature being within the differential. So that means this is a bit more clever. It kind of makes sense from the point of an energy efficiency, because if you are within that differential, theoretically, you are at a good temperature for your product. So you don't want to bring a second compressor, because it might be enough for one compressor to bring the temperature down to its set point, like in colder periods. But if you're in the summer, then one compressor maybe will struggle to bring the temperature down quick enough, so that's when it's gonna say, yeah, give me compressor number 2. But on our example, as long as my cabinet temperature is below 3 degrees, doesn't want to bring the second compressor in, because it thinks, well, I might be capable of dropping the temperature with only one compressor. So it's good from an energy efficiency point of view. So that's quite clever. I never knew this could do that, but I do like it, I must admit. So yeah, thank you for watching. We did a bit of fault finding. It looks quite messy in there, but that's what sometimes you have to do. I really need to do a wiring diagram for this. I just did not have the time, but hopefully soon enough I'll manage to get around to it, because I tend to forget. I don't work on this panel, let's say, for a week, or maybe I don't need to pull to do fault finding, and then I forget, right? How did I wire this wire? How did I wire? I just realized now, for example, just as a mention, that my solenoid valve, the way I wired it, it will come with the contacts on compressor number 1. I forgot that I've done that, but yeah, so I really need to do a wiring diagram. So note to self, Adrian, make a wiring diagram. So yes, so we managed to commission this one. I hope I covered everything. If I do remember something else, I'm sure I will make a separate video and maybe try and explain that as best as I can. So thank you for watching, and I shall see you next time.